Today I talk about goals, the smart kind, goals, the done kind, and fixed mindset. Hello, welcome to episode 63 of Mind Games TV. My name is Weldon Green. This is a show about esport psychology, in case you haven't caught any of the previous episodes. And today's going pretty well. I had sessions this morning starting off bright and early with some of the guys at LA Renegades. Really fun working with that roster. I think that it's a challenge because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we're tackling, I'm seeing patterns. I'm seeing patterns here. I've worked through origin to success or through origin to failure with a number of teams now, and I'm seeing patterns. And I think that Renegades has lots of awesome stuff ahead of them. I'm super excited about what we're doing there, and I think this might be my last show. I might have one more. I might squeeze in one more this week before I'm off to LA. So my next week of shows will be in Los Angeles. I'll probably be in the TSM Gaming House or in the Ember Gaming House or in the LA Renegades Gaming House when I'm filming that show. So if you have any questions about that, if you have any questions about what it's like to train, what it's like to live there, what it's like to be a pro player, those kind of things, let me know. If you have any questions for the players, maybe I can drag them over and have them on the show. So let me know. Feel free to kind of tailor that. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you Peter's shoe size, and I'm not going to tell you Sven Skaren's underwear brand or anything like that. But if you have any questions about performance, about esport, about psychology, I'd be happy to do that. And make sure you follow me on Snapchat, because you're going to catch the behind the scenes of the whole week of all of the workshops. It gives me a great opportunity to show video, to talk about what we're learning, and just to see everything that's going on there. So Snapchat, my name's Weldon. And let's go ahead and get into the show for today. First question is from @LivingLegendX21 on Twitter. I know this guy. He's an awesome guy. He's really, how do I put this? He's really doing it right in terms of, I want to make my time in video games productive. I want to do it right. I want to be focused on mastery and not on just entertainment or performance or what I get out of this. I want to make it a part of getting better about everything I do, about the journey, not in the path, not the end goal. So it's been really fun to kind of hear his story and how he applies himself. Anyway, his question.
Living Legend X21 asks, I'm having some trouble setting some smart goals. So, for example, how would you get 70 CS by 10 minutes and do a better one?
This is a good question, because SMART goals are a great acronym and people like to bandy it around, and there's a lot of people who are sick of SMART goals, and there's a lot of people who make a living by selling SMART goals as a framework. And so if you're on the first time ever hearing this, you're like, whoa. And if you're on the 50th time ever hearing this, you're like, oh God, when am I going to stop hearing this? But SMART goals are way more simple than this complicated framework makes it sound. So SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and have a time frame. And basically, if you're doing it according to the system, you would take your goal and you'd grade it according to each thing. So get 70 CS by 10 minutes. Specific, okay. Measurable, okay. Attainable, I don't know. Is it attainable by you? Maybe. Is it relevant to getting better? That's kind of more questionable. Does it have a time frame? Yeah, okay. So how do you make it better? I think there's two key things here. One is attainable. So the goal has to feel like something that you can get to. I don't mean to get to now. I mean that if I keep trying, if I keep pushing, if I get hard, I can attain it. And there's a fine line to balance there between easily attainable and just out of reach and infinitely beyond what you can do. And you have to decode your own motivational system. Some people, they want something they can do, and that gives them satisfaction, and then they accomplish it and they do more. Some people need something that is out there that they will never get, and they keep pushing themselves. So attainable to you is totally different from attainable to the other person. And the other really key...
I'm filming this whole freaking show and my microphone's right here. God dang it. Sorry, everybody. Mason, That's my video editor, by the way. Hey, everybody. Here's at hello hi. I don't know what your Twitter is, but pop it up right here. This is my awesome video editor. I wonder if he's going to be able to save this show now. I'm just going to keep filming, and if I have to go back and do the beginning, I'll go back. But, man, it was so good. Hopefully we get some balance. Anyway, relevant is the other one. So, like, is this actually relevant for where you want to go? Like, okay, maybe if I can get 70 CS by 10 minutes, that'll be cool. But does that make me closer to a pro player? Is it powerful enough? Is it crazy enough? Is it pushing me enough in the right direction? Like, maybe it should be, I want to get 150 CS by 10 minutes. I don't even know if that's possible, actually. But maybe it needs to not be about CS at all, but about mindset or about being a leader or about pushing yourself in another dimension. I always talk about growing vertically. In fact, I think I talked about this with Alish Fries from LA Renegades today. You can grow vertically, like you can get better at your position and your role and your mechanics, but then growing horizontally, getting better at leadership, at motivating other people, at inspiring your team, at strategy, about oppressing the other team instead of the person in your lane. What if it isn't that you want your lane opponent to be scared of you? What if it's you want the entire enemy team to be scared of you? What does that mean in terms of your relevancy of the skill that you're practicing? So like practicing your trades in lane is not going to get that. Practicing your team fighting so that you can like win a team fight 1v5 is. And so the relevancy of your goal, I think, is the number two thing, because if you can feel yourself growing in the direction that you want to grow, that's really motivating. And SMART goals are really just all about turning a goal into something that motivates you and gives you direction. You grow in the direction you're pointing yourself. So you got to point yourself in the right direction, and then you got to pull the trigger, and you have enough gunpowder to get you there. So look at your goal, make sure it's pointing in the right direction, make sure it's pointing the right distance you want to go. It's got to be past usually where you want to aim for, unless you're the kind of scaffolding kind of person. And then you got to make sure it has enough gunpowder to get you there, shoot you off. That's my answer.
Living Legend X21 asks, when you have a goal for yourself in game you want to work on, and you either get that goal or it ends, what do you do after?
Okay, another really fantastic question from our, so far, I think like 3 questions on the show now. This is like unheard of. So I think that we get like a little gold star, bing, for our amazing return guest here. And, how would I answer this question? I think the key thing to remember about goals is that they're the thing that help you choose your next step. And it is the quality of that next step and the direction of that step that is really the important part. It's about like who you become as you're like attaining your goal, not actually attaining the goal, right? So let's say you're in the middle of a game, you achieve your goal, and you're like, sweet, I'm done, check out, vacation, and you can like peace out and relax the whole rest of the game. Like, for example, 70 CS by 10 minutes, the previous goal. 10 minutes come, you don't get it, or you do get it. Awesome. Okay, yeah, now I can just chill. I think some people, there's 3 kinds of people, let's say. There's more than 3 kinds of people, but let's just say there's 3. There's people who are like, yes, I can slack off now, and they go slack off. There's people who need a vacation. So like they're like, oh, that was really strenuous, and now the reward of that high focus, high pressure situation is I get to sit back and relax. That's good. You need the recovery, okay? It's good to go yin and yang on your focus. If you can ramp up that focus and then bring it back down, you're good. And then there's the third kind of person who's like, I've got plenty in the tank, and I just felt that focus like powering me, and I really attained it, and I just want to keep going. And they get started by the goal. The goal ignites them. It is the key to their ignition, and they take off, and they keep maintained focus the rest of the game, and they're like striving as hard as they can for everything. And they don't even know, you want to focus it, but a lot of people kind of know inherently like where they need to work, and so they're focusing on the correct things. So if you're one of those 2 people, at the second 2 that I mentioned, then I think you're pretty good. If you're that first one and you take the ending of your goal as an excuse to like check out for no reason, I mean, that's fine, but you're just going to be the kind of person who's sitting there watching TV while other people are achieving things that they want to do with their life. So that's kind of up to you. And I encourage you to consider that emotional endurance is a really key trait of high performers and people who are successful and people who are happy, just happy. Emotional endurance is really like just something that makes your life so much better. If you can just endure a little bit of crap and stay happy anyway, stay focused anyway, your life is so much better. So yeah, consider it as training for emotional endurance. And obviously, if you need to do the yin and the yang, you need to step back, because like that is the relief that allows you to then focus again. That's a totally different issue from just being like, all right, I know I have more in the tank and I'm just going to not use it.
Francis asks, how do we gain from being in a fixed mindset?
Okay, so I need to give some framework for this question. So fixed and growth mindset, popularized by Carol Dweck, I think, who came up with these terms. Growth mindset being the thing where you fail forward, and fixed mindset being the thing where you are afraid of failure, and so you hold back. That's a gross summary, but if you just search fixed versus growth mindset online, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. Or go to mindgames.gg/growth, I think. I hope. If that's not right, check in the description down below for the real link. So basically, Francis, I think what you're asking, if I look at the notes from this question, is that it's really easy to realize you're stuck in fixed mindset. So how do we get everything we can from that mindset before we move onwards to a growth one? And so there's two premises to your question. First of all, yes, fixed mindset, growth mindset, 50-50. Not 50-50. Really close to each other. You're always one step away from one of them. You're always one step away from fixed mindset. Just like one little triggered moment where like somebody comes in, like your mom walks into your room and is watching you play, and you're like triggered and you fall into fixed mindset and you're afraid to mess up. Or like you realize Double Lift is watching your stream and you're like, and you start panicking and messing up and holding back. Or you're behind. There was this really famous female Wimbledon finals where this woman was playing and she was just so aggressive, and she was the underdog, and she came in and she dominated the first set, I think like 6-2 or something like that. And then she was ahead, and she went into the second set, and she tried to not lose instead of trying to win. And that small shift of like from being the underdog and trying to win, going to like trying not to lose because now she was ahead, ruined it. She lost the next 2 sets. And this, so that's the growth versus fixed mindset thing, right? It's just really close to each other, okay? They're never going to be far away. Growth mindset is not very far away. Fixed mindset, not very far away. So the second question, I have to say, actually is not correct. You don't gain by being in fixed mindset at all. Rather, you grow like at this speed in fixed mindset, and you grow at this speed in growth mindset. So growth mindset is always better. It's just it's like the fast lane. Okay, so you can be in fixed mindset. You can allow yourself to relax and just be like, I just want to sit here and whine and just be fixed. And that's fine. But you just have to forgive yourself, and you have to agree, make a contract with yourself and say, I'm just not going to get as much out of this as I could. And that's totally okay if that's what you're up to at that particular moment. But you can't optimize fixed mindset, because optimizing fixed mindset means going to growth mindset. And even as I say that, I think I can think of tons of people who are trying to hack fixed mindset, and you can find all sorts of ways of like hacking yourself. But I think really that is it's kind of like band-aiding something, and it's just not powerful in the long run. And if we're talking about getting stuff done, maybe you can GTD in fixed mindset by like having task lists and reminders and sending people nudie pictures of yourself to say, post this on the internet if I screw up and whatever, and like making yourself kind of motivated and fearful at the same time, and overpowering your fear kind of with motivation. But honestly, if I want to say it, like, what is the point of life? Like, if we're all going to turn into stardust in the end, and if the universe is just going to expand into entropy, like, then getting stuff done is like not as important as how it is that you get stuff done. So really, if you're asking yourself, can I do something? Can I hack my fixed mindset to get a little bit more done and be a little bit more proactive? Then yeah, of course, I think that you can. I see people doing it all the time. There's a whole, self-help books about like how to set up a system and a routine to optimize yourself. And a lot of that is true. But the simple step from the easy path of figuring out a system to the hard path of just doing it with discipline in a fearful state, but knowing that that's what you want anyway, that is, I think, like approaching more like to the point of a pure spirit of mastery. and just walking the path and the journey of trying to be the person that you want to be and that you could be. And so I think that there's much more value in striving to get into a growth mindset than figuring out how to hack a fixed mindset. So that's kind of what I think about that. And I'd like to end today on a quote that I picked out specifically for the show. I didn't know what my answers were going to be, but I just read the questions and thought, hey, let me search these keywords and let me see if there's anything that pops out at me. And then now that I've answered all these questions kind of in flow state, I kind of have an opinion that this is actually maybe the quote that best represents what I said today. And it is this: what you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Zig Ziglar. And I'll see you guys tomorrow or the next day or whenever you check out my next video, maybe 5 minutes from now.